You can vape all you want, ladies and gentlemen. You can talk all you want because we got plenty to talk about here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all music and wrestling matters. You might want to say, out of the ashes of a controversy king rises a phoenix and rises a rare bird, you might even say. And we're going to talk with this rare bird here because this rare bird don't seem like, well, he's not so rare anymore because he's got plenty to talk about, especially when it comes to places like LAW, the WVWF, where that aforementioned controversy king Wyatt Black is going to be a major topic. Maybe I'll even get into, well, Excel Wrestling and who knows whatever else. And maybe I'll even throw in what do a hype man and a rare bird, what do they put together? Maybe it could be gold in their future. Not so rare. We'll get into that, plus pretty much your comments. We'll get to know this man here for the first time, and I am sure we'll give him plenty of ammo to respond to that guy that, well, he calls himself a controversy king, but something, like I said, tells me he hasn't met a rare bird yet, and we'll even talk about his debut match in the WVWF that took place. We'll talk about cease and desist, and we'll talk about, like I stated, anything and everything. In the famous words of Def Leppard frontman Joe Elliott, let's get rocked, baby, and start this show off in style and warm things up here on a dreary and damp day post June 13th, Friday the 13th, here in the Big Apple on Sportswire Radio, the number one global radio station where all music and wrestling matters. So with that, without further ado, here on the Sports Report, number one cable sports show, a rising newcomer from places such as Legit Alternative Wrestling, the West Virginia Wrestling Federation, Excel Wrestling, and beyond. His name is, simply put, the Red My friend, how are we doing?
I am doing very well, my friend. Just want to say,
Well,
yo, what's up, gentlemen and gentle ladies?
Well, you certainly are a rare bird, and I don't know if you were the lucky one or not, but that was my shortest intro in weeks on sports. I usually been going 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes in some cases, but this time we went just under 5 minutes. But I'm sure we'll make up for it here and some, because it is certainly good to be with you. And Chris Phoenix, there is a lot to talk about. I think I'm gonna pick up right where we left off with Wyatt Black. And, Wyatt Black, to announce you here on Sportswire Radio earlier this afternoon, even though we formally talked about you coming on Thursday's show, he talked about his future. He talked about going into year 2, and he talked about in that immediate future would be, well, to settle a score with you, because after all, you interrupted him after Metal Mayhem, after what happened with him and Riku St. Helen. And, well, he definitely made an example out of you, talked about you, and I'm going to give you the opportunity, for those that are listening and watching in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform that you, LAW, and the WVWF most certainly helped build, Sportswire Radio. Now, for your thoughts on what Wyatt Black did and had to say about you this past week on Sportswire Radio.
Well, I heard exactly what he said because I was watching. I watch your show all the time.
I know. You actually do tell me. You've been telling me the last 2 months. Yeah, I'm there. I'm watching. I'm here.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm seeing. But Wyatt Black actually got lucky. He got the best of me that night. I was in a fatal 4-way.
Yep. Juno Jones was in there. Man, we've talked about quite a bit here on Sportswire over the past few months. Yep.
I've trained with Judo. He's a good friend of mine.
And he's been defeated by Wyatt Black, just to remind you.
Yes. He has not defeated me yet.
That's true too. Duly noted.
But I took a hellacious chokeslam that night, and I didn't know who Wyatt Black was. I'm new.
Yeah, you know what? I'm glad you said that, because that's what I said. Maybe you didn't know who he was. Maybe with the mask, you couldn't look down, and you didn't see him from the size of you, and how would you know?
I can see perfectly fine through the mask. Like I said, I didn't know who he was. I just, figured I'd share my thoughts and treat the new guys like that. I'm gonna get my comeuppance.
Yeah.
This isn't just a bird you're talking about. This is the rare bird, Chris Phoenix here. He's gonna find out who I am.
Well, it's interesting that you say that, because you can look at it and there's two sides of the coin. There's one side of the coin that says, you're this newcomer. Who are you? Wyatt Black has been now in the WVWF for about a year. And whether you like him or not, he has made waves. He, in his mind, won the hybrid championship for 3 minutes. He's had big wins. He's moved up the ladder. And he's a guy that, when you think about the WVWF on this platform, whether you like him or not, and there's a lot of haters out there, but he's one of those names that comes to mind. Or, conversely, from your vantage point, you can look at it, well, Wyatt Black, you have no idea what you're getting into, because you're a rare bird, which means you're completely unknown. I mean, you're a wild card, not to be confused with Wildcat, but there's no question that you're one of these guys that sometimes it's hard to figure someone out. It's like if you're a baseball player, and sometimes when someone gets called up for the first time and they go through the lineup and the pitcher can't figure them out, because they don't know much about them. There's not much of a scouting report, and you fall into that category. So you can look at it maybe that Wyatt Black, he doesn't know what he's getting into, because you're a rare bird and you're totally unknown.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. He really doesn't know what he's getting himself into. Like I said, if I was 100% that night, that wouldn't have happened. None of that would have happened. But that's all right, because my boy Dan Lasers actually wrestled Wyatt Black. What was it? It was before season assist. It was guilty by association.
Yes. Yep. A few months back. Yep.
And after all that, he told me about Wyatt Black, and trust me, I've done my homework on the kid.
So what do you think, though, about him? I'll get to your tag team partner in a little bit, because I see him here and I've had him on this platform for a minute. But what do you think, though, about Wyatt Black? Because there are some people in the WVWF and, LAW that have certainly had their opinions. It's well documented. But what do you think now about Wyatt Black in terms of what he's done so far?
Well, I'll say he's very talented. I've watched him. Like I said, I've watched his matches. He's very talented. I'll give him that. But I think his mouth runs some checks that he can't cash. You know what I mean?
Well, he actually might not be able to cash the check literally because he's a high school student still. So I mean, he's got a few
Yeah.
more months till he turns 18. So I'm not sure what the protocol is in West Virginia, if he can even open up a bank account or his parents have to sign one. So literally, I think he actually can't cash the check because he's
Probably not, but
a school student.
he bit off
But
a little more. He
what's
bit off
that?
a little more than he can chew with me, though. I can tell you that.
Well, it's interesting because I've had guys like you on over the years, and you can make the point that sure, Wyatt Black has been very lucky so far. He's barebacked his way to win after win, but maybe now that luck is starting to run out. And I mean, you're a newcomer and you've looked to make an example out of him, but now there's another person that's following your lead in Tony Sane. So now it seems like Wyatt Black, well, he doesn't seem to command the respect that he should. So you obviously interrupted him after what happened at Metal Mayhem, and we saw what Riku St. Helen did to him. We saw his outburst about losing the hybrid championship or losing in the finals of it, whatever you want to determine it as. But do you think Wyatt Black commands respect? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think he does try to command it, but like he said, respect isn't given; it's earned.
And you
And
obviously think that he hasn't earned it yet.
no, I really don't think he does, especially the way he treats newcomers to WVWF. I wouldn't
And
treat a new guy like that.
well, you're a rare
I'd
bird.
show him. Well,
You're a
yeah.
rare bird. You're not going to treat them like that. But apparently, he feels like he's earned that right because he's been so successful in the ring. He feels because of his track record, and in his mind, he's the youngest hybrid champion. Him and Courtney Wood have been fighting for months. And certainly that came to head on Thursday's show where they talked about the hybrid championship. Now, I know you're not an historian. I know you're not a statistician. And I know you're not in the management of the WVWF. You just came to the company. But where do you fall on this? Do you think Wyatt Black was the hybrid champion for a few minutes? I almost have to ask you.
See, I don't think I really have an opinion on that because, like I said, the last WVWF show was my debut there. He didn't have the title then, so I mean, no title. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, obviously, you've come into the WVWF. You had your first match at Metal Mayhem. And I ask you this question because I see the hype man's here in the chat. Why have you come to the WVWF? What has brought the rare bird here to the West Virginia Wrestling Federation?
Well, just like my bro says, get our name out there. Go everywhere we can. Go to WVWF, LAW, Excel even 814 as well.
Hey, 814. My buddy D Savage is a part of that 814 wrestling. Maybe you've seen him there. I mean, he's wrestling for the Legacy Championship there next week. And interesting.
I have.
So, God.
Last time I was there, I had a triple threat match with Freak and Lawhead.
Oh,
Jesse
yes.
Lawhead.
Okay. Yeah, I know them. I know them well. Yeah, that's definitely names that have. I think they've come up here on the platform because Savage came on here and he was here in January and we spoke about them. Okay, that's fine. All right, so I'll get to that at a different point in a different time. But okay, you're here in the WVWF, but you're expecting to make waves. But this is a very deep roster. There's a lot of people here, and I mean, so now it is my understanding that you've brought the hype man with you, a man that I've seen on this platform, and a man that certainly has made some waves in other places. Why are you and the hype man, Dan Lasers, forming a tag team? Talk to me and the audience why this is the key, because I think a lot of people want to know.
Well, me and the hype man go back like seats. We've been through a lot. Yeah, we've been through a lot together. So we figured, why not just start a tag team out? And then someone threw the name of Cease and Desist, and I was like, well, that's perfect because my name starts with a C and his starts with a D. So you got Cease,
You
and
know,
desist.
famously, there was a bakery I used to go to when I was a kid growing up in Brooklyn. It was called C&D Bakery, and they used to bake
Nice.
Italian goods. So what a small world. Who would have thought that I would have thought about an Italian bakery I went to on 4th Avenue and 85th Street as a kid, and now I'm bringing it up again, but only in the fact that you and Hype Man Dan Laser are a tag team. You know, it is a really interesting team that you guys could form because from the little I've seen of Dan Lasers brings something to the table. He
Yes, it
definitely
does.
has got some charisma outside the ring. I had him here inside the ring. He's got a lot of upside, got a lot of potential. He's been talked about in championship matches. He's been talked about in a lot of different places. And then you're this total unknown. You're this rare bird. So almost like any combo, any good tandem, you guys might be able to complement each other and whatever comes your way, maybe that'll help you in situations and that might give you a leg up here on places like WVWF.
Well, that's our plan right there is to literally make waves and take the tag team
Can a
division by
Phoenix
storm.
ride waves? I mean, do like Phoenixes ride waves? Don't they like come out of ashes? I don't know. I don't know that, but I'm wondering.
We fly and do anything we want.
True. Well, he's a hype man. He can definitely go and get it up there. And obviously, you're a rare bird. Okay, all right. So obviously, I think it's an interesting team. But what did you make though of that Wyatt Black now wants Tony Sane? You know, we thought it was going to be you and him, and I guess maybe what's next for you coming up at Summer Clash? Because as I'm sure you're aware of, management told Wyatt Black that he's not in the building. He's not there. He's far away
Right.
from the building. Yeah, he talked about his anger management issues. We know that he has those problems. So for you and let's say your tag team partner, Hype Man Dan Lasers, coming up here at Summer Clash, which is now 2 weeks from today, what are we expecting from you guys?
Well, I can tell you this: you can expect some high flying action. Me being jumping off stuff, and me being thrown by Dan, and jumping off Dan
So you're one of those teams. You're going to basically use yourself as
as a
basically
weapon, basically.
well, okay.
Yes.
Well, you know what? I should use you when I'm being harassed in the street. I've had these problems. I'm harassed in the street the last year by these like high school kids in cars. You know, it's a
I got
funny.
your back.
Yeah. What's that?
I got your back. Don't worry.
Thank
I
you
got
very
your back.
much. Yeah, only if you lived right next door to me. But we'll leave that at that for a different time. But we'll have fun with it. But yeah, I think what you guys could bring to the table would be really interesting and really potent because, you know, Wyatt Black talked a lot about him being here and he's made a name for himself. But I think with what you guys have the capability of in ring wise, you could do and some what Wyatt Black took basically a year because sure, whether you want to talk about the fact he held the hybrid title or didn't hold it, or even he got as far as he did, with you and what Hype Man brings to the table, there's no telling what you guys could do. Tag team gold, if that maybe arose one day in the WVWF, maybe even the Mountain State Championship, or maybe you guys together could be contenders for things like a hybrid championship. So maybe if we look at it from what you guys could bring to the table in ring, if Wyatt Black could do what he did, why not Chris Phoenix and Hype Man Dan Lasers? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Exactly. And if it comes down to it where Dan and I are on the opposite side of the ring, well, it's going to be one hell of a brotherly battle. I can tell you that.
Whoa. You mean to tell me that you guys are going to form a team, but you then mean to tell me that you guys would want to have a brotherly battle? I get it. One of you guys is from the city of brotherly love, but I mean, that doesn't sound like so brotherly to have a battle with each other. You guys are just forming a team.
I mean, it doesn't, but you never know what bookers want, you know? I've been.
I wouldn't know much about that. I do realize Tommy Hara would know a little bit about that. We had him on, admittedly, 13 days ago, and he talked about that. But those are things that'll sort itself out. But I think it's an exciting time to see you guys here coming up for sure in the WVW, because I see some other teams here in a minute. I'm going to get your perspective on, because I think you were at a show that I think you'll probably know what I'm talking about. But I think it's an interesting time and the right time for you guys to come in here to the WVW. I think the WVWF has been talked about a lot here on Sportswire. We've had a lot of the guys here. James Enoch The hybrid champion was here. Maverick was here. Maverick was so close to winning that world championship at the Ryan James Memorial Show, and we will have more and more talent here in the WVWF. So maybe this is the right moment for you and Dan Lasers to come in here and make a name for yourselves, you know?
And that's what our plan is, to make a big name for ourselves. You'll be hearing Cease and Desist a lot.
What do you think about some of the other people on the roster?
Well, all those names are really tough opponents. I've seen some of their matches. I've been in the back and watched their matches from the back, and really tough guys. But I'm no slouch, and I'm not afraid of the next challenge.
And
I
obviously,
thrive on challenges.
Well, you better, because you're a rare bird. I mean, Judo Jones is obviously somebody you know very well. You were in the ring with him here at the last show.
Twice, actually. Twice in the ring with him.
The scramble match in LAW as well. Yep.
With Battle of the Border.
About LAW in a couple of minutes, because I do have some thoughts on LAW, which will relate to a man that had a huge moment last night that's a part of LAW. I think you'll know who I'm talking about. But I think Judo Jones is another guy that maybe you'll cross paths with again.
I mean, if it comes down to it, I will. But I'll tell you this: I've changed a lot since I wrestled. I've been with Judo Jones.
Well, I'm going to tell you this much. Hopefully, you and Dan Lasers will have just as creative and colorful as an entrance song as Judo Jones.
We plan on it.
Have we picked out the entrance song yet?
We have. We're also going to make it. We're going to make one.
We're going to make... Wait a minute. How are you guys going to... You're a rare bird, and he's a hype man. How are you guys going to do it? Are you going to, like, shout like a bird? I mean, what was that Nelly Furtado song? Was it like a bird or something like that? Like a bird?
Yeah, something like that. But
how are you going to do it? You're a rare bird.
Yeah, contrary to popular belief, I got a voice. I can sing. Plus, hype man. If you heard his theme, he sang and wrote his own song.
I know that there are. Well, it's funny. I got an idea. You talk about the hype man, and yes, he can do a little thing on the side. Dave Jamieson, I don't know if you know this, Dave Jamieson can put together a beat or two, and maybe you can get a collab. You, hype man, and Dave Jamieson. I mean,
that'll be fun. I would think that would be a really fun idea.
I think that would get a lot of views. I think that would get a lot of attention. I have to plug your Instagram, because you and I were talking about this, and you were like, I'm on Instagram. And I'm like, yeah, I just found you on Instagram.
Like I said, I didn't realize I had one. There it is. Okay.
There it is. Whoop, there it is. Well, yeah, now go and follow him on Instagram, and I just did. And you can see what the Rare Bird has to offer. And he's also on a number of other places. You can check him out. And we're talking a lot about him over the next hour or so. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryson. Thank you very much for joining me here. And also, if you're out there, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there tomorrow. Hopefully, you have
happy Father's Day.
Yeah, I hope you have a great day. And hopefully, I don't know what you want to do, but hopefully it's the best one yet. And thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in here. We'll plug the WVWF and LAW and some others. And, speaking of tag teams, and I see a tag team in here that I know I do owe an appearance to on the platform. They'll get here in July. I promise it. They'll get here. But Peanut Butter and Jealous, obviously.
These guys.
Yeah, these guys who, wrestled, I know, yesterday at Excel Wrestling, but came up, let's just say, on the short end of the stick. But
yeah, they did.
They did. And naturally, they're certainly looking to, make names for themselves on social media. They've definitely made names for themselves with a finishing move to their team that I'm not going to say on here, because we still are a family station. But these guys, what do you think about them as opponents, maybe somewhere?
Peanut Butter and Jealous. I've actually been wanting to step in the ring with Max Slow, and I've been wanting to step in the ring with Max Slow ever since I saw him go on a singles tour.
Well, you do realize that because he's got that hammer, he could kill a bird. Hammers could kill a bird. We don't want that.
But he's got to catch me first.
That's true too. And birds are like, that could be like a Looney Tunes episode where, almost like
it might be actually. You might see him fall on his face, slipping, trying to catch me.
Yeah, well, him and the banana peel, because famously he had the banana peel and the hammer. I'm sure you saw that there in the Express.
Yep, I did. That was pretty great, actually.
I understand that. Speaking of Excel Wrestling for a minute, that you were there yesterday, from my understanding.
Yes.
I wasn't there. Speaking of a little birdie, a birdie of mine actually went to the show because because I'm a gentleman. I actually donated a ticket to the show, even though I'm all the way here in New York City. And I donated a ticket for one of my usuals here, Mr. Silas Walker, who I think some of the guys met here in the chat. And I understand, though, that you may know a few things about Excel Wrestling or something that a rare bird maybe was flying into, if you might want to elaborate.
Yeah, I was there last night. I was dressed as Freddy Krueger versus Jason, who ended up being Blood Beast.
Oh, well, apparently, I guess you were a part of the Friday the 13th festivities. So,
Yes, it was.
you dressed as Freddy. That wasn't on my bingo card, sir.
Had a little hat on over my horns and everything. I even had the glove and all.
Listen, I mean, I know the famous Freddy Krueger character, Robert Englund, who's still out there, and he looks great. But how are you as the rare bird? We see you. How are you putting that on? How'd that work?
Well, we had to cut holes in the hat for it to go over the horns. So.
Oh my God.
That worked, but the hat didn't stay on very long because it was like 2 seconds in the match. The hat was already on the floor. Mask stayed.
How was that experience like, though, morphing into Freddy Krueger on the 13th? What was that like?
It was weird. I wasn't normally my normal upbeat high self because I was trying to get in the mindset.
An upbeat character. He kills people. He certainly.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why it was hard for me to like kind of get into it because I'm not used to being that demented kind of character.
Yeah, that's why I said. I mean, we've known each other for a little while, and you definitely weren't on my bingo card for Freddy Krueger. You weren't on my bingo card. Sorry to disappoint you on that.
No, it's all right. I underestimate. A lot of people underestimate me. It's all right though because I always
not that I'm underestimating you. Oh, no. It's just I don't see like the rare bird going into the complete opposite of the rare bird. You know what I'm saying? That's all.
Yeah. I get you. Like I said, that was just. What was that? I can't hear you.
Would you be again Freddy Krueger? Would you do it again?
Oh yeah, definitely in a heartbeat. As long as I get in between them ropes again, I'm perfectly fine.
Sure?
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, you'd want to do it again, huh?
Oh, definitely. 100% we'll do it again.
Well, that's interesting. I mean, there you go. Never say never, I guess, to quote one wrestler. That comes.
I never back down from the challenge, and I never will.
Wow. Okay.
No matter how scary the challenge is.
What did Hype Man think about you being Freddy?
He actually liked it. He thought it was pretty funny himself.
And he stayed far away from you because he knew that would have been a little scary to be next to you.
Yeah. Especially with the knife gloves.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't much of a horror movie fan. Although, ironically, I just saw Ballerina, which is the new John Wick spinoff, and I saw Mission Impossible. But those I could stomach for whatever reason. But I do want to give a shout out to somebody that's out there listening. Lady Jessica is watching, and I want to say thank you for tuning in. And I hope you're enjoying the show here with the rare bird, Chris Phoenix, and you're enjoying some of our jokes and thoughts about a number of different things. And you definitely put a smile on all of our faces. And if you are here on Sportswire Radio, go follow Chris Phoenix, like, share, or subscribe to this video. And we are here with Chris Phoenix. And if I were to tell you, though, that Wyatt Black was here tonight and he's telling you that you shouldn't show up to the WVWF anymore, what would your thoughts be?
My thoughts would be, I'm not scared. I'd show right back up. Oh, yeah, I'd show right up and say hi. Look in his face and say, hello, buddy.
But you'd have to look down, way down. Just want to let you know. Maybe that's why you didn't see him, because you'd have to look way down.
Yeah, he's pretty small, isn't he?
He's 5'1.5". He's 5'1.5".
Yep, he's short.
Well, he's definitely, not to quote Yogi Bear, but shorter than the average bear. But hey, it seems to work for him in the ring. Size doesn't matter. I mean, I guess he's been successful, but he doesn't. He just seems to feel that guys like you, guys like Dan Lasers, who he's got experience with, are stepping into his company, a company he now says he's helped grow.
I mean, he may have helped it grow, but last I checked, he don't own part of WVWF at all. So it's not really his company to say what I can and what I can't do, where I can and where I can't be.
My USB is going to go out after this episode, so we'll make it through the episode. Okay. I guess what the point was that I think he feels that you don't belong here, but the WWF is going to, for his sake, is going to have to be just as big enough for you and him.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be big enough for all of us because I'm not going anywhere.
Well, I don't blame you. I mean, obviously, we want you to be here. We definitely want you to be a part of the company and some of the different things. I'll get to the chat here in a minute or two, but I want to talk about LAW here for a few minutes because obviously you can vape on here. You show the vape. You can vape here. I don't know if you know Tarzan Duran. He famously came on here and smoked like it was like, let's just say, like a chimney stack of weed. I've had on the Brooklyn Prodigies who smoked weed on here. So yeah,
okay.
I'm not going to say smoke weed.
That's all it is.
It's all good. I mean, maybe Hype Man Dan Lasers will cover that. What was it? Nate Dogg, smoke weed every day. I mean, yeah. See, I can get down. I can get down. I've had a lot of musicians on here, so yeah. I don't smoke weed every day, but I'll certainly talk to Chris Phoenix about LAW. So obviously, LAW, you were a part of the scramble match with a man that had maybe his biggest moment of his career yesterday, Godric Sandwell, and you were in the scramble match. And that was LAW against against a battle on the Bourne or something like that. And you guys went out there, you got the victory. But talk to me about being a part of that scramble match there, and what was that experience like?
It was actually quite a fun experience. I got to wrestle GK Fam.
Yes,
for GK Fam.
Yep,
great guy. Good moves too. I tell you what, that rock bottom that hurt.
Yeah, you unfortunately weren't very successful in that match, though.
No, I wasn't. Things got a little weird whenever Ethan Evans decided to eliminate himself. So it was like,
we talked about that with Godric, and I mean, I don't know if I've seen anything like that before in my career. Now, you're a wrestler. I mean, you've been around a little bit. I mean, not a long time in ring wise, but have you seen something like that before? Just somebody just says, "Hey, I just want to get out of there."
Yeah, I haven't seen anything like that, and apparently it was because he didn't like the guy who was running the Battle of the Borders. But that's them. But I have never seen it, and that's what threw me off. And I was like, okay. So
do you think that maybe sidetracked you a little bit in the match because you were obviously out early right after that? Did you think that was an issue for you?
Maybe a little bit of an issue. Maybe it caught me off guard, but I was the second one eliminated. So, I mean, the third one. Sorry, the third one eliminated, but I still stuck it out after he got out and after Judo got out. But, yeah, I didn't last long. But you know what? I'm going to rise up from the ashes again. And
that's what you seem to do. What was that like being in the ring with Godric? Godric has the biggest victory of his career last night against the Soul Taker. Next weekend, he's back at Express Wrestling and wrestling for the NWA Midwestern Championship against Dante Casanova, the current incumbent, and Joshua Kavad, who's a very, very established figure out there in the circuit. And what was it like being out there with Godric Sandwell in the scramble match?
Honestly, I was honored. Godric is very talented, and I have mad respect for Godric.
Me too. Godric is one of these guys that's been coming on here since his first run as the Three Rivers champion. And Godric has been a guy that, I say this a lot, but I mean this here sincerely, in that I don't think a lot of my listeners got Godric until the last few months with his battle with La El Shaddai for the LAW championship. And I feel like since then, Godric has got to a point where it's like this guy, you want to go out and see him here. He's here next Sunday, and you want to see him in the ring. I mean, what did you learn from him, if anything at all, in that experience?
Well, I learned if no matter what, stick it out. Something good will happen eventually.
And hopefully for you in LAW, some good things will happen, right? I mean, hopefully some things in LAW will happen because you're trying to get your name out there. Obviously the Hype Man had some success at the previous show where he won the Battle Royal there. He was one of the two participants to win two different Battle Royals. So obviously the Hype Man's been successful there. And I mean, hopefully when LAW resumes again, that you'll be more successful. Go ahead.
I was successful that night because I also wrestled another match that night on that Battle Royal on Cease and Desist. I faced the High Chief.
Yes, you did.
It was a great match against the High Chief.
What was it like wrestling him? I love
wrestling the High Chief. Mad respect for him.
Me too. A man that's done a lot in our sport. That was obviously a great opportunity. And
Yeah.
that whole thing was, put together the way it was. I mean, so, certainly after you were part of Aftermath, you were part of Cease and Desist. So you've been a part of LAW here now for a few shows. So obviously LAW, that's probably why you showed up to the WVW, because they were running in the same building. So you're like, you know what? I know how to get here. I know the directions. The Rare Bird knows how to fly to 325 7th Street, the Richardson Building in Parkersburg, West Virginia.
Yes, I do. Like I said, that whole night was fun. Although in that battle royal, I got thrown out and eliminated by Max Slow. But you know what? I still came out, and I rose up from the ashes, and I took on the High Chief, and I came up with the W.
Well, we certainly have some more to talk with here. Chris Phoenix, the Rare Bird, and he's here in rare form on Sportswire Radio. And I'll get to some of the people here in the chat who are with us. And let me start off with Zilla the Thriller. She is our first comment, and she would like to say, nice to meet you. I have something for you in a few minutes. And there is your tag team partner. There he is. The hype man, Dan Lasers. Talk to me about Dan again. Talk to me since he's here. He's supporting his tag team partner.
Well, I love you, Dan. See you when you get back from vacation, buddy. And yeah, he's on vacation right now. But when you get back, we'll definitely do some more tag team, going over some tag team moves and stuff together.
Wow. Well, I guess too bad he didn't join you in the. You didn't join him in the vacation.
I'm all right with that.
Well, you're here, so actually you're here on Sportswire, so that's the good news. Yes, hello to Hype Man Dan Lasers. And I mentioned him, the other part of Peanut Butter and Jealous, Mr. Andrew Lovelace. And, Mr. Hammer has something to say for you and the Hype Man. I'll get to that in a minute or two. He actually has a comment. Hello to Andrew Lovelace. And it is Hammer, obviously the Hammer Man himself, Mr. Max the Hammer, and the only one who matters are right here, him and Lovelace. I mean, what do you say about it?
That's the only thing Max knows how to do is use his mouth. That's it. That's the only thing he knows how to do.
As successful in the ring. They've been
He's pretty successful. I'll give him that. He is talented. But he also talks a lot. But
the ring has been struggling a bit these days for Peanut Butter and Jealous. Now that they're back together, it's been a struggle a bit.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I've been seeing for every tag team, it's kind of a struggle. You know what I mean?
It's hard.
Books tag teams together, but Dan and I are going to do it, and we're going to take on the tag team division.
You know what? And that's what we're certainly about to get to. Yeah, I could certainly see why that you would definitely want to take on more teams. And Peanut Butter and Jealous could be you and the cease and desist versus Peanut Butter and Jealous could actually be maybe a match to decide where you guys go. I mean, it's got a great ring to it. Peanut Butter and Jealous versus cease and desist,
That would be a good match. I think that would be a good match.
I think two completely different styles, two completely different teams, and that would be a match a lot of people would like to see. I think that would be something we would definitely want to talk about. But if you are here right now and you want to follow the WVWF, first of all, hit the sub button for the WVWF. I'm going to put LAW's links up here in a minute, but if you are here, that's the link for the WVWF YouTube page. We'll come back to some more comments. Hello to Hammer. Want to say hello to my buddy, the legendary Doc Holliday, now a part of NEW Underground Wrestling, and always good to see the good doctor. The good doctor. I was, in New York, there was a baseball player, Doc Good. They used to call him when he was doing good, the good doctor. They would call him the good doctor, and he had a lot of good days, and it's always a good day when Doc Holliday is here. Yes, and very excited about him, a part of our friends in the NEW. And also, Doc Holliday is a Halloween guy, and he loves the mask.
Thank you.
It's a part of you.
It is. It really is a part of me. It is who I am.
Well, I could certainly see why. And certainly, yes, hello. And thank you for the kind words. Yeah, that we appreciate that. Yes. And Zilla loves the mask, too.
Thank you. A lot of people have actually come up to me like, hey, you have a nice mask. I'm like, well, thank you. I mean, I like it.
Tell them, no, it's not a mask. Tell them that's just who you are. Not like the Spider-Man mask you have in the background. This is who you are. To me, I'm not seeing a mask. This is not a mask. This is the Rare Bird. This is what Jesus. To me, this is just part of who you. It's not a tire. It's not a costume. This is the Rare Bird.
That's what I try to tell him. I'm like, this is who I am. Like, this is it. Like, you won't see anything else besides this right
Yeah,
here.
I mean, listen, Rey Mysterio wears a mask. Got that. Juventud Guerrero used to wear a mask. I got that. Laparca wore a mask. Psychosis got to wear a mask. I got all that. But Chris Phoenix, I mean, this is not a mask. What I'm looking at right now, from what we can see here, I can see you and you can see me. I'm not seeing a mask. I'm seeing that this is just a part of who you are.
It is. This is all who I am. This right here. This and my actions in the ring.
I think certainly the same way. We've come for gold, but we got to prove it, and we will. What do you think about that?
He's right. 100% right. We come for gold. That's what we're here to do, is to have that gold around our waist.
I'll tell you what, we're going to certainly see. And I told you the Hammerman has a message for you that hopefully for you and Dan Lasers you can touch. But July 11th, you'll fall to peanut butter and jelly. So what's going on July 11th? This is news to me, so let's talk about it.
July 11th, I was told that Cease and Desist is going to be facing Peanut Butter and Jealous at LAW.
Whoa! LAW is going to be going on July 11th. Wow, okay. That's news to me. That's great news.
But there it is.
Well, whoop, there it is. I mean, definitely, it wasn't me. That's all I could say. It was the Hammerman. The Hammerman said LAW's back July 11th. You definitely can't touch that because we're going to see if Cease and Desist are going to be too legit to quit, and maybe they will have that Adams groove against Peanut Butter and Jelly. So July 11th, I mean, last I checked on my calendar, that's a few weeks from now.
Yes, it is. And you know what? I'm always ready. Always
well,
ready.
You better be ready. That's a big match because, Loveless and Hammer, they've held gold in their careers. They've been champions. Hammer's been champion in Express Wrestling, and Loveless was one half of the tag team champions in Amplified Enterprise Wrestling. So these guys have held gold. They've talked about here on this platform how they're dying to get gold again, and this could be one of those matches that could go a long way and maybe decide who goes up against the Pattersons after they square off with Miami Mental Institute, because we know that's the next match there for the LAW Tag Team Championships.
Well, I can tell you this, Max and both Loveless, they're both talented. Yes, they are. But Dan and I, we are hungry.
Ooh.
And I mean hungry for gold.
And you know what? And you don't want to get in the middle of somebody who's starving, that's for sure. You definitely don't want to do that. But if you are here, LAW does have a YouTube page, and I'm sure very soon they'll be updating content, but they are inching one by one to 200 subscribers. They're at 160, so definitely hit the sub button for our LAW friends. Hit the sub button for the WVWF. I have something for the one and only Rarebird Chris Phoenix in a few minutes. We'll give him that. Let's get to some more comments because you actually got a little mix of comments here. But we got some comments. The Prodigy, who, by the way, just so you know, well, you might want to say hey and yay, but he's been very complimentary of Wyatt Black. He said Wyatt Black was the hybrid champion. He's praised Wyatt Black. He supported him. And how do you feel about that?
Well, see, I don't know Prodigy as well as Wyatt Black does, or you guys do, but I've heard some pretty good things about him. I can tell you that. And I'll give credit where credit is due. Put it that way.
What's another one added to my legacy? But the question is, now we talked about this. Wyatt Black talked about the tag team division. He talked about that he wasn't sure about what he was going to do in his future. He did talk about you. Now, he did obviously leave the door open about him and Prodigy together. So what do you think about that? I mean, the potential of Wyatt Black and the Prodigy together as a team and maybe even against you guys soon. Who knows?
Well, if they become a team and they face us, well, guess what? I guess they're just going to find out who Dan Lasers and the Rarebird Chris Phoenix is. Cease and desist.
Well, I think that'd be something a lot of people would like to see, and I think that he would like to meet you, and he's going to meet you soon in that locker room, because guess what? You're going to be there on June 28th, and he'll be there on June 28th.
And I'll see you there, Prodigy. I'll see you there.
And you're gonna fly there, right? Because your mode of transportation is flying, so you don't have to
I'm
worry
definitely
about.
flying, man.
So you don't have to worry about like taking the train or driving like some of these like Godric does or Day does or Hammer and Level. So you're flying. So you're flying at all times.
So that's the best thing about being a Phoenix. I can fly anywhere I want.
So you don't run into much traffic. Then you don't run into much any air traffic control. No problem with air traffic control, right?
Maybe some air traffic, with a few other rival birds in the area, but nothing I can't
Well,
handle.
hopefully you don't have a problem with, let's say, what happened in Newark, New Jersey, not too long ago. Yeah, the whole thing with the flood. There was a big flight crisis there, and
Oh,
yeah, hopefully you don't run into that problem. But you won't run into that problem by giving you a follow on Instagram, that's for sure. And definitely, Day, he wants to collaborate with Darian. And yeah, you were there yesterday. I understand Day and KJ also had quite a match, but the finish
yes,
was,
we did.
well, it was certainly an interesting finish. I mean, I won't spoil it for some people, but what did you think about what Day Jameson did yesterday?
Dave Jameson is very talented. I
Yeah.
can't wait to step in a ring with Dave Jameson. I think we can do great things together. Even at one on one, he's very talented.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
like him a lot.
I was speaking with one person very early this morning, and he said, and he wasn't in the locker room, so he doesn't work in the companies that Day has been, but he told me he wasn't there at the show yesterday. Not a part of these companies that we've been talking about. And he said Day Jameson, he expects big things from, and that Day Jameson will be somewhere very big very soon. That's his word.
Yeah, I see that as well. He's going to make it big in the business. I can see it.
Well, right now he's made it because you're talking about him, and Mr. Holiday said he loves that name. Well, listen, don't worry. He likes you still. He likes you too. Mr. Laser, nice to meet you. I missed the chance to wrestle the last show due to obligations, but I'm sure he'll be there at Summer Clash, and we'll get to less of Metal Mayhem. And also, Max Hammer likes the taste of Doc Holliday. And I want to say hello to somebody here who's got a small business, a young girl. She's from the state of Iowa. She is a part of a company called the IMF, kind of like a counterpart of LAW. And she has a little business. I'm going to put a link up here because she has a business that if you want to buy some of the stuff, you're more than welcome to. I have it here right now. I still don't know what it is, but she'll tell me what it is because it's called Worry Stones. She's selling them for $3. So I guess apparently what she was saying is these are things that I guess help you with an injury or something, or help you with hand movements or what. I don't know exactly what it is, but you can go to her Instagram page. You can check it out. That's her Instagram. You want to find out more information, only $3. I mean, most people will spend $20, $30 on gifts. I was in the movies the other day, and they were like $30, $40 mementos from Mission Impossible. So maybe you'll have less of a Mission Impossible if you buy one of her Worry Stones. Thank you for being here in the chat. We appreciate you. We will get to some more comments. We got to Mr. Black already. Doc Holliday is certainly excited. And sorry you couldn't make both the IMF shows, but at least you're here on Sportswire. And also, Mr. Black does respond in saying that you will be just another pawn taken out of the big chess game we call wrestling. Your thoughts?
My thoughts is this kid keeps writing checks that he can't cash. He's
Well,
going to find out.
Can't cash them. Well, he literally
we know
can't
that.
cash them.
Yeah, we know that now. But he's going to find out who I am. It's not going to be hard to get rid of me. It's going to be hard to get rid of me. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's going to be really hard to get rid of me because I didn't hear any word of that.
I said that you, because of what Riku St. Helen did in the ring, you won't have any problem with him coming up if that opportunity arises.
Not if a girl beats him. I mean,
although
saying something.
Yes, but also could you say that, well, because of what happened where there was some, let's say, favoritism toward Riku St. Helen, that maybe that match had an unfair outcome, or you don't buy it?
I don't really buy it. Yeah. I think a lot of it was excuses. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because the only person who gives excuses is what's the word I'm looking for?
Well, when you make excuses, you're always basically you're like not a procrastinator, but you're a
Yes,
whiner. You're a whiner.
it's what
You're a
I'm trying to
whiner.
get at. Yeah,
You're
yeah.
a whiner. Well, Wyatt Black has certainly whined a lot. Some people would say, but I mean, the footage speaks for itself. That Riku St. Helen's father was a referee. He's not a referee. He
Okay.
basically visibly knocked him. I mean, if you saw the match, you would have saw what happened there, and it was to some, and certainly to Mr. Black's point, was that it was an unfair outcome. In that, in a fair one-on-one match, you and him, or a tag team match, let's say him and Prodigy, if that arises against you and Mr. Hype Man, that Wyatt Black, because of his track record against the likes of Judo Jones or Wildcat, certainly, or others in the past, that he'll be victorious. Damian Abel, most certainly. I mean, he's got big wins on his resume, and he feels he'll just add you and Hype Man to the list.
Well, he can go and try and add me and the hype man to the list, but that's where it's going to stop.
And Zilla, though, is a fan of you, but also Wyatt Black. Zilla's got interesting taste. And yeah, Godric is definitely one of these guys that a lot of people that come on here want to wrestle. I completely agree with you with that. I wasn't too slow to eliminate you there, Tweety Bird.
Oh, this guy here. I'm telling you.
Be a great Looney Tunes episode, you and Hammer. It'd be a great
I think
episode.
it would be a good episode. It'd be like Tom and Jerry, but you know.
Listen, Saturday morning cartoons are all over again. I mean, we need to bring them back. Maybe it could be a great episode. It could be a way to introduce the return of Saturday morning cartoons. Max Hammer and Chris Phoenix running around and chasing each other for 30 minutes.
Hey, I agree. I miss the Saturday morning cartoons.
I do. I don't think life's the same without Saturday morning cartoons. I just think that people are missing out. I know those were the days. But if you don't want to miss out on the WVWF, hit the sub button for them on their YouTube page. There's a lot more content where it's coming from. And he's down for it. So, yeah, he would love to have a tag match with you against, let's say Wyatt and Prodigy or Peanut Butter and Jealous. I mean, we know that's going to happen on July 11th in LAW.
This is another reason why me and the hype man are a tag team, because we both think and act alike.
That's why we're certainly looking forward to what Cease and Desist bring to the table and honoring LAW the way you guys do. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. And see, that is your face. It's even better. This is your real face. There's no mask. That's who you are.
This is
real. I mean, you can't take that off. That's no facade. That's no Halloween costume. That's no trick or treat. I mean, and Wyatt Black was the one that made a mask. If you saw Thursday's episode, there ain't no mask that you've made. That's who you are.
This is Chris Phoenix right here. This all right here. This is real, my real face.
Now, what flavor are you vaping tonight?
I am vaping something called Sour Effin' Fab. I couldn't say the actual word, but
yeah, please don't. Right? I'll just go like this. But we'll take but it'll go off. It'll eventually go off. We'll just go like this instead. If you did it, we'll just go like that. Yeah,
I'll try not to swear at all.
No, I appreciate that. We're a family station, but I would just beep you out. But
gotcha.
What does it taste like? Sour effing fab. What does it taste like?
It tastes almost like a bubblegum, almost. Like a bubblegum flavor. Cotton candy, maybe?
Oh, wow. Okay. That's interesting. And just so you know, this is what the beep button sounds like. Now we got it. Yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah. I actually haven't had to use it in a while. We've actually had tame episodes on Sportzwire, which is a good thing. And he had to break out You Can't Touch This. But I don't think Hammer can break dance. Something tells me that the hype man can break dance, but something tells me that the hype man can do it, but Hammer, well, he's got two left white man's feet.
Yes, he does. I tell you what, and if he wants to challenge or breakdancing,
I think what? That's what I think. You know what? This is what I think. You ready? All right, July 11th, LAW. This is what I think the council should do if this is going to happen. It could be a tag match between you and with Hype Man against Loveless and Hammer. But what we got to do is let's have a breakdance match. Hype Man versus Hammer. Well, get this: Loveless as the DJ.
All right. I can dig that.
That way we got some entertainment. We got the people going. I mean, that's what we'll do. That's the way we'll do it. Yeah, sweetness. That's what we'll do. And hit the sub button for LAW. Trust me, you need to do it. Peanut Butter and Jealous only think they want the smoke.
Yeah, that's true. They think they want the smoke, but trust me, they don't want the smoke.
Well, I
Not
mean,
this smoke.
definitely. Hopefully, well, you keep enjoying your smoke. And there you go. Mr. Holiday subbed, and I still want Mr. Holiday onto the platform. Man. We love that. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Hype Man, you can bring the smoke, the ashes, the whole damn fire. Just watch that you don't get burned. Some people are just, listen, that's animal cruelty. That is animal cruelty if he does that.
Kind of, but I am a phoenix, and I am made of fire.
Well, you're a rare bird, though. But rare bird technically does make you part of the animal kingdom. You said bird, rare bird.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. But like
We don't want to put you on the endangered species list.
No, I don't want to be part of that.
No, please don't. But hit the sub button and follow. Thank you, Princess JD, for. I still don't know what the Rolling Stones are, but go buy one. See you soon, Prodigy. I'm sure I'll get the chance to meet you. That's nice of him. Yeah. And we're getting more people in here, so let's run down the comments. Right. Indeed, Mr. Laser, it'll be my pleasure, sir. Now, speaking of people that, by the way, were very successful against Peanut Butter and Jealous, the chosen one, the mighty leader, Daniel, and he's here, the brand new USWA Universal Champion, and he did defeat Loveless and Hammer. And he's got to come in here to rub it into the guys' faces.
Yes. Congratulations, bro.
Tafu! I think that's my favorite thing to say on Sportswire the last week. When this guy comes in, and I know I got to get him back on. We were trying to get him on the other day, but we got Wyatt Black on instead. And I always want to say, Daniel, Tafu! Maybe you could say that he laid the groundwork for Dodrick Sandwell to defeat Soul Taker because he and Soul Taker had some battles in LAW. We saw him famously. Yeah. We definitely did.
And you can't just say Tafua. You have to say Tafua.
Yeah. Daniel Tafua. Oh man, I love that guy. Love that guy. But Hammer doesn't love the idea of you guys playing the breakdance match because he said he's got Loveless. But we got Loveless as the DJ, but if you can do both, hey, why not?
That's because Max can't breakdance. We know that.
Two left white man's feet. I mean, what can I say? Daniel Tafua! As always, my friend, I acknowledge you. Congratulations, fam. We love our Sportswire fam here on Sportswire. Thank everybody for tuning in. We just crossed 1,520 subscribers. That's a lot of people. 1,520 subscribers. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a thing. And yes, hello. And Hawk2 and Shadow cheated. Now, you were there yesterday. Now, is that true?
No, they didn't cheat. They didn't cheat at all. They used every advantage that they had.
Well, that's why I guess apparently Tafu and Shadow well, guess what? Tafu and Shadow, they were too legit to quit, and that's why they won. Anytime he comes on, all you got to do is throw an MC Hammer reference. But, before I get to some other things, I promised you something, Mr. Rarebird, and I have it for you because for those that are listening and watching on Sportswire Radio and all Sportswire Radio platforms in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage. It is Chris Phoenix Day. How you going? How you doing? There you go. Guys. Congratulations, my friend. There you go. We'll give this to you off the air, and congratulations. And somebody out there from the Indie Vision Network, maybe it's Kevin from Ring Crew, because I hear Kevin from Ring Crew is going to be here in 12 days, and he wants to say Daniel Tafur can break dance.
Okay.
Maybe Hype Man. I can't confirm or deny if you can break dance. Maybe Hype Man will teach you because something tells me Hype Man can do it.
Hype Man can do it. But here's a little secret about me. I used to break dance.
Oh well, you know what? That's why. Well, you know what? I walked into that because you're a bird. You fly. So obviously, of course you could break dance.
Yeah, I can do a lot of things that people think I can't do.
That's true. And don't come out to the Nelly Furtado like a bird. That was Nelly Furtado like a bird. Thank you, everyone in Hammer. I don't think I didn't cheat, but I remember you got face planted by a 3D.
I did see that. He did get a 3D. I did see that.
You should never touch another man's hands. I didn't know we were doing stand-up comedy tonight on Sportswire, but that's what it's turned into. Hello to the Indivision Network. Yep. And now you should never touch another man's hammer. But here's the thing: is last I checked, and I've been doing this a long time. The only person I see with a hammer out there in our circuit is Max Hammer.
Yeah. I mean, I myself can't pick it up. I've tried.
You've tried.
Do it.
Well, you're a rare bird. I mean, you don't, like the old Superman. It's a bird. It's a plane. We don't want to have you pick it up. We want to make sure. We don't want to make you an endangered species.
Yeah, that's right.
And by the way, Mr. Hammer also wants to say that Loveless is going to dance circles around everyone.
All right. Yeah. We'll see.
Well, maybe they might need an emergency. They might need an emergency landing there. So we'll have to see here. And if you are here on Instagram, I want you to go give Chris Phoenix a follow. So if you're here on Instagram, I know a bunch of you are on Instagram. Go out, check him out. He just realized he's on Instagram. So let's get him a couple of followers here tonight. I see a bunch of people here. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in with us. And definitely hit the follow for Chris Phoenix, and you'll see more of him and why he's the rare bird. And Loveless is the only. No comment. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this here for us.
There we go.
Okay, sound box. We have a bunch of noises we can do.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the jokes for everybody. Yeah, we have a lot. We come up with a lot of jokes tonight. Definitely a lot of jokes here in this chat. It's a Saturday night, I suppose. People want jokes. All right, so let's talk about a few more things before we sign off here. So we've talked about WVWF. You still have Wyatt Black in your sights. You and Hypeman are teaming up. It looks like, from what we know, July 11th, you and Hypeman against Hammer and Loveless. And what kind of match it'll be, who knows? But what else is out there for Chris Phoenix? What else is out there for the Rare Bird?
Well, like I said in the beginning of this, Tom, I am always up for a challenge. I will never back down from a challenge. Not a single challenge.
Not a single challenge. That includes break dances. That includes dance-offs. That includes touching hammers, right? That includes those things.
Hey, I'm not touching hammers, man.
It's a good idea. I don't even know if I've touched a hammer. Maybe once or twice I've touched a hammer. But speaking of people here that have gotten into the fun, and yes, we broke the fourth wall. Please don't hurt him, Hammer. Here comes the hammer. Now, do you think speaking of Max Hammer, I would hope for his case that he doesn't have to file for bankruptcy like MC Hammer famously did.
Let's hope not. You don't want to cease and desist. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and funny you mention that. I'm a notary. I can help with the stamp of approval of that. And Courtney Wood has joined us here, by the way. We definitely see eye to eye with you and Hype Man on Wyatt Black because, we're having a lot of fun. It's turned into like the wave on Sportswire. The last 20 minutes, we're just cracking jokes here, Courtney. It's just turned into this.
I've been having a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's just now we're just having fun. We even broke out the sound box, which I haven't used much lately. And hello to Courtney, and hello to Miss Wood, and hello Courtney, hello Courtney. And by the way, we've got our friends from. Well, the difference would be our counterparts from the West Coast, who would compare you to one of their wrestlers, their champion. But the difference is that you're not a mask. You're actually, that's who you are. Blackout might be in a mask. You're Chris Phoenix. I mean, you're actually a rare bird. You are a rare bird. I mean, you were thankfully not on the endangered species list, but you are a rare bird.
I am very rare. I don't even know who this Blackout guy is.
You can't. Well, he's the BTW champion there in beautiful Roseburg, Oregon. They're going to be here in 2 weeks. They'll talk about that. But you are a rare bird. You can't take that off. I mean, that's just who you are.
It's all stuck. I can't.
So and that's not crazy glue. That's not Scotch tape. That's real. That's your hair in the back.
I mean, yep. This is my hair right here. You see right here? This is my hair.
I would be better off wearing a mask every day. I wouldn't have to be yelled at in the street. I wouldn't have to be yelled at. And, what up, Dan? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I think we're having fun. It's Chris Phoenix Day on Sportswire Radio. So there you go. And we're having a good night. And you got a battle coming up against Crazy Jack. And Crazy Jack here coming up. Was that for you there, sir?
No, that's not me.
I don't know who's that.
Have a match against
maybe that's Prodigy. Who is your match coming up with?
Kyle Horton. The partner for Kyle Horton is who I'm facing up at SCWA.
Where?
SCWA, Showtime Championship of Wrestling.
Oh, I didn't know. Oh, so when are you? So that's, you know what? I hadn't even brought that up. So when are we seeing you at SCWA?
I will be there July 9th, or no, not July 9th, August 9th and July 12th.
Wow, okay, so that's coming up. So you're a busy guy. You got July 11th, LAW. You got July 12th, SCWA, and August 9th. You're going to be here at Summer Clash coming up on June 28th. Hopefully Courtney's there. And they have two shows, WVWF, July 12th and the 19th. So you'll be at one of those shows. So you got a lot of debate. I hope you don't run into air traffic control because you're going to be flying to a lot of places here.
I can get past air traffic control, trust me. They won't see me coming.
June 28th, to recap, June 28th, Summer Clash. Yeah. July 12th, SCWA. July 11th, LAW. July 19th, WVWF. And then August 9th, SCWA. And who knows, maybe we'll see you back in Excel Wrestling in between that.
You might.
You might.
You never know where the rare bird's just going to fly up.
Yeah, well, that would certainly be the case there.
Yeah.
Well, that's what money can buy. You got this, hype man. Yeah, you definitely do. Yes, hello to our BTW fans. Yes, BTW is on Tuesday, 6 o'clock Eastern time, and they're back here on Sportswire Radio. That'll be 2 weeks from today, 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. Let's recognize the best historian in the wrestling business, the female Dave Meltzer and Wade Keller, with a lot more talent and knowledge. I fully agree. And the one and only queen of the records, Courtney Wood. Yes, the queen is here. And by the way, did you know that Courtney has, I think, there's a thing named after her with the 5. It's count to 5 or something. I forgot, but I was going to mention it to one of the shows.
5. That's right. Yeah,
that's Courtney. She's legendary. She's a legend.
Dan's match against Ben Metal, I was managing for Dan.
Yeah, so there you go. I mean, Courtney, and she writes for Slam Wrestling, so she really knows she's a legend. I mean, she just does it all. And, I mean, you've just been taken over by comments, so I'll just keep going with them. Mr. Lasers, nice to see you again in Phoenix. You earned my respect from the gauntlet I had you with at LAW. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, that was actually my first ever LAW appearance.
And what was that like?
Very fun and very painful.
Well, that's what LAW is for. All the matches are very painful there. I mean, very, very painful. Yeah. And I know yesterday La El Shaddai was in action, by the way. A man that is our champion. I know he was there defending the title yesterday.
Yeah, he kind of eats people. I don't want to be a rotisserie.
Yeah, because again, we don't want you on the endangered species list. I don't know if La El Shaddai eats birds and phoenixes, but you just never know right now. I don't want to have to put you in that crossfire, But then we really would have to get air traffic control out there. We don't really want that. And yes, thank you. We love Courtney. We'll see Courtney back on here. And yes, happy Chris Phoenix Day. And I'm gonna fix it for you. Whoop! There it is. There it is. Yeah. We don't want to do this either. I haven't really used the sound box much, and now we just did. Rise from the ashes as an immortal phoenix. This is your day. Yeah, this is your day. This is legitimately like your day. You've legitimately, had a day, and it's definitely been a moment. And hopefully, it's definitely not going to be like that U2 song where there was famously you're stuck in a moment that you can't get out of, and he misses the football field goal in the football game, and you're not having that because it's a special day. Yeah, Courtney's not just an indie celebrity; she's a celebrity all over the place. And yes, back out is a great world champion. We love him, and Crazy Jack is who you're going to be wrestling in SCWA. I haven't really spoke much about SCWA.
I literally just started there not even that long ago. My first match
Okay.
there was with Nick Crosis, actually.
Okay, I heard of Nick. I think I heard it very briefly. I heard of Nick. Okay, that's cool. So more places. That means obviously you want to fly to more places and fly like an eagle, but don't do the R. Kelly version because he's in jail right now.
I ain't no eagle. I will fly like a phoenix, but I ain't no eagle.
Yes, well, that's true. Well, that's true. But okay, the Samoan drop was painful for you. Shaddai accepted Tafua yesterday. But that is the greatest thing. That is the greatest thing I get to say around here. But all right, before I get to closing thoughts, is there anything else that you want to share or talk about before we sign off here in a few minutes? Anything else you want to bring up? Because I'm gonna come back to Wyatt Black one more time. But before I do that, is there anything else that you want to talk about?
Nothing much really, just besides watch out for the Phoenix. I'll always be there, and I'll always rise from the ashes.
And by the way, hopefully you do better than the Phoenix Suns basketball team this. But I know you're probably not a Phoenix Suns fan because you're the Chris Phoenix, but they didn't have a very good year this year. Now they're looking to trade Kevin Durant. Just putting it out there. So I know the hype man's not a Suns fan. That I know, but I still put it out there. But if you did have final words though for the controversy king Wyatt Black, what would they be?
If I had final words for the controversy king Wyatt Black.
Yeah.
Well, kid, I have a super kick with your name on it.
Ooh. A super kick with your name on it.
For pretty much ambushing me at the your promo when I was caught off guard. I got a super kick with your name on it.
But don't you think you walked into that? That was just a bad. You should have had air traffic control. Maybe direct you in a different direction. That was the case of Wyatt Black?
I was just trying to show my sympathy for somebody who took a hard loss. You know what I mean?
Very hard loss.
I was trying to be a nice guy and sympathize, but turned out he had other plans.
Well, he had plans, and those plans involved you, and he used you as a springboard to get himself a match with Tony Sane. And I know we're going to revisit this because of what he did to you, he can't be out there on June 28th at Summer Clash. You're going to be there, but he's not.
Yeah, I'm going to be making a name for myself there, where people there will know who I am too.
It's a good point. Very good point. That's a very, very good point. And, obviously, we'll certainly see what happens there. And I'm very excited about that. I want to say hello from the BCF4. Certainly Mikey D. How you doing, Mikey? How's everybody doing? And I know somebody else out there that just tuned in that you probably know of. And I'll just leave it at that. Hello. And yes, BTW is coming back on. We're very excited about that as well. And certainly, if you are here right now, give a follow to LAW. Check out their YouTube, whatever content from the past you'd like to see what LAW has to offer. I would really recommend that very much. And I see that LAW just got another subscriber, so every subscriber counts. So when LAW has more footage, more content, you're more than welcome to get that out there. And the WVWF, that's also where, again, one Chris Phoenix is a part of, and you can certainly see him there coming up on their page as well. You can check out their YouTube channel, so please do that, and I'm very excited. And congratulations to the champion. Go party. We definitely acknowledge Daniel Tafua, and we'll see you on Sportzwire very soon. We'll figure out a date, and we'll get everybody back on here, so go celebrate. And, yeah, we all love that. It's a great part of the show, and it's great. I'm going to let you go fly and fly not like an eagle, but definitely fly like the rare bird you are. And I'm going to pass the baton to you, give you some closing thoughts, and take it away, good sir.
Well, my last closing thought is, I'll tell you this, I am not done. I'm going to go flying through the competition, literally flying through the competition.
Well, that would definitely give you a round of applause.
And I'm hungry for gold, and it's not just tag team gold I'm after either.
Well, I mean, look, if it's WVWF, you've got Dax Preacher with the Mountain State Championship. You've got James Enoch, who was here, and Wyatt Black talked about the offer with the orchestrator. I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are on that. There's certainly Aaron James with the world title. And I mean, so there's obviously champions out there. Maybe that's something you'll visit at a different time in a different place, but we'll have to stay tuned more or less.
Well, I'm always ready for a challenge.
That's all we can look forward to and see, and I'm very excited about the future. And Chris is on Instagram, and a recap of where Chris is going to be coming up. We're going to do it in chronological order before we sign off. He's going to be coming up here 14 days from now, WVWF Summer Clash. LAW returns, it looks like July 11th he's there. July 12th, SCWA. Back at WVWF July 19th. Also August 9th, SCWA. Excel Wrestling. Stay tuned for more details on that. Timothy Titan will be here in a few weeks. We'll definitely get into that, plus a number of other topics. So that's where Chris Phoenix is going to be. So definitely he's flying to a lot of places. He and Dan Lasers will be together for some of those matches. So go check that out. Follow the great companies that he is a part of. WVWF, LAW, Excel / Express Wrestling. Also SCWA and my friend
Crown Sports Entertainment. Can't forget about CSE. Crown Sports Entertainment. It's CSE.
CSC. And when are you there? Are you there coming up?
Oh, it's the same show as the SCWA. It's SCWA and CSE.
Ah, well, that certainly sounds like CNC Music Factory. Definitely, we're going to definitely make you sweat here. We're going to definitely, as a reminder, we're going to definitely get on the dance floor because it's going to be, remember, we're going to have that break dance match between you guys and Loveless and Hammer. So, I mean, how fitting. CSC, CNC Music Factory, and Loveless can spin the tunes. Yeah, we're just having a lot of laughs here in Sportzwire. Yeah.
Definitely.
But yeah, he'll be there in all those places. And one more time, it is Chris Phoenix Day on all Sportswire radio platforms. So definitely check that out. And my friend, thank you so much. We'll see you here maybe next month. We'll see what you and the Hype Man have to offer. And definitely safe travels out there on the skies. And hopefully it will be blue skies for you going forward. Nothing but blue skies ahead. And for you and Dan Lasers, the best is yet to come. I'll see you soon.
Thank you, guys. And thank you for having me.
You got it. Well, it was long in the making, and this was Chris Phoenix, the Rare Bird, and my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice, figuratively limited with all music and wrestling matters here. If you're on Sportswire Radio, we'll be back here tomorrow night, time to be announced with Joey Knight Jr. Yes, with a junior. He'll talk about what happened today at HCW show in Prescott, Arkansas. I'm pretty sure the Chris Phoenix can fly to Arkansas, but we'll leave Prescott, Arkansas out for now. Let him get to 325 7th Street, the Richardson Building in Parkersburg, West Virginia safely first. But Chris Phoenix will be at a number of different places. WVWF most immediately coming up here. That'll be on June 28th. Summer Clash, July 11th, 10 of the LAW. July 12th, SCWA / CSC. Back WVWF on July 19th, and then back to SCWA / CSC August 9th. And stay tuned for more about him in Excel / Express Wrestling. Thank you, everybody. Follow Chris Phoenix on Instagram. Check out WVWF on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, LAW, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Give a like, share, or subscribe to this interview on our channel. And until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. On the number one, couple of videos, minutes, Sportswire Radio, where all music and wrestling matters. Thank you so much, everybody. Enjoy it. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Have a wonderful day. God bless all of you. Thank you. Enjoy your day. And I'll see everybody here tomorrow.